Hey guys, Ben here for ExpansiveDLC.com, taking a look at Littleracers Street. You may remember this game from its initial release as an Xbox Live indie arcade title a few years back. Now the game has made its way to Steam with a few more additions. The game comes from Spanish developers Milkstone Studios, who previously brought us similar racing titles as the Littleracers and Motor Heat. So, the game can either be played as a top-down style racer, or if you prefer, you can switch to the chase camera, offering up a more 3D typical racing style. Although I'd advise against this, as it can make driving quite difficult. No, the game definitely does work better from a top-down angle. There's up to 200 different playable events split across 60 different tracks. Now these 60 different tracks are an urban city sprawl populated by streetlights, train tracks, and towering grey apartment blocks, or a more mountainous expanse where the tracks become a little bit more dusty. The two locations themselves aren't particularly inspiring. They can come across as being a little bit bland, and no doubt you will lose interest in looking at them eventually. The game does try to spice things up a little by offering varying weather effects, and a couple of times I found my screen being splattered by snowflakes or raindrops. It's a nice little touch, but it doesn't really add much to the visual aesthetics overall. There's plenty to be found to do off the track. The game has over 40 different cars to unlock, split across 6 varying degrees of quality from E to A. The peak of which being the Lamborghini imitation named the Fettucci Lagostino. I hope I pronounced that right. You'll need to unlock a car from each tier in order to compete in the game's different race categories. As you start out your career, you'll be given the princely sum of 35,000 credits to go off and buy your first sweet ride with. Although I'm going to have to be looking at around 3 to 4 million credits before I can be jumping into that Lamborghini. So let's do some shopping at the lower end of the market. There's going to be plenty of grinding ahead of me, but with the gameplay this fun, it shouldn't be too much of a chore. So then once you've selected your first set of wheels, it's time to take it into the garage, where you can do some tweaking and poking to increase either the nitros, the grip, the power, or even the turning of your ride. Once you do enough boosting of each of these stats, you can even push your car into the next quality rank. There's more than enough in here in content, in unlocks, modification, to keep you racing for a good while. And due to the game integrating its multiplayer mode with the career, every lap you race will only be increasing your wallet size. What you're really here for in Littleracers Street is for the gameplay. If there's something that's going to keep you coming back for more, it's just how fun this game can be. Littleracers Street is definitely an incredibly fun, addictive indie arcade game. The game has 3 different difficulty levels, and especially on the medium and harder difficulties, the AI presents quite a fun challenge. It'll have no hesitation in trying to shunt you off the road and damage your car in any way and every way it possibly can. This even can become a problem as the race goes on, as the more damage your car sustains, the slower you'll become. The competitive, frantic and fast-paced gameplay also carries over into the multiplayer side of the game as well, where the competition only got tougher, I found. The multiplayer supports up to 12 players, which can make for absolute carnage at times. As the pack begins to free up, a certain level of tactics comes into play, as knowing where and when to and how to utilize your nitros to the best of your abilities is essential to placing you in the first place. It really can become quite addictive, as you refuse to let that little Mini Cooper replica shunt you to last place. If you're unwilling to do the grinding necessary to see you behind the wheel of one of the game's more luxury vehicles, you can always jump into the quick street mode, where little street racers will simply plonk you down into any old car at random, and who knows, fingers crossed, you might end up with a sweet ride. The Steam version of the game is by no means perfect. The soundtrack and the voiceover leave a little to be desired, and the visuals could have done with some more production values, I believe. But for a $5, you'll be hard pressed to find a similar top-down racer on Steam that offers up as much content and as much fun gameplay as Littleracers Street. For ExpansiveDLC.com, I'm Ben Monroe. Thanks for watching, guys.